What's good, Wizards fans? The Washington Wizards drop. They get blown out, matter of fact, 117-94 in Cleveland. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly tonight. TGIF, we're going to keep it short tonight. I know everybody, it's Friday night, so we're going to try to be as positive as we can, but let's talk about it tonight, y'all. Next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Scott again from Locked On Wizards. Thank you again for making Locked On Wizards your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. And tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel, official sportsbook of Locked On. Make every moment more. Visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn today to get started. So, wow. The Wizards get humbled. They get blown out on the road, 117-94 to the Cleveland Cavaliers. We're going to talk about the good and the bad and the ugly. We're going to get into some comments, and then we're going to call it a night because I know it's Friday night. I'm going to try to get y'all out of here, but let's grieve together. So let's start it out. As you know, the Wizards fall 117-94. I said in the previous episode, I said on Twitter, this game and tomorrow night's game were must-win games. And again, this game highlighted everything that was wrong with this franchise, with this team. So let's get into it. How did we lose this game? Well, let's start out with the most obvious aspect, defense. Defense was abysmal. Defense was trash. I mean, we couldn't defend the perimeter. We couldn't defend the paint. We couldn't roll with them in transition. I mean, I'm pretty sure they beat us on the jog to the court for the locker room. I mean, it was abysmal, man. It was terrible. Defense was a non-factor. They did whatever they wanted to do. If you look at this, Mobley, Mitchell, and Garland combined for 64 points. With Jared Allen out, I thought that we could have controlled the paint a lot more. We didn't. But let's get into more about why we lost this game. Obviously, defense again. Points off turnovers. Well, we'll start with turnovers. 17 turnovers. The Cavaliers, JB Bickerstaff, they did their scouting. They knew that we were a sloppy basketball team, and they took advantage of the 17 turnovers. And they got 21 points off of our 17 turnovers. So they capitalized off of our turnovers. Again, the sloppiness shows. Bradley Beal bringing the ball up again, bouncing the ball off his foot again. It's just same issues we've had all year long. And it feels like we're saying the same thing. We're a broken record, man. I mean, the same thing all year long, even with wins. I mean, it's just points in the paint, 78 points in the paint for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Again, in the paint, I felt like with Jared Allen being out, we should have been more dominant in the paint with Gaff and KP. And we're going to talk about our starting unit in a little bit, but, it didn't matter. Evan Mobley stepped it up for with the absence of Jared Allen. And, 78 points in the paint is just abysmal, man. Let's see and look at my notes. Those are the biggest reasons, man. 78 points in the paint, turnovers. They pushed the pace. 17 points on fast break points. So they caught our defense off guard. This is our MO. We're terrible in transition. Teams know this. They're gonna get the rebound. They're gonna push the pace because we are so slow in transition. We don't know how to communicate. Our defensive rotations are slow. Again, wide open jumpers were a problem in transition. Not accounting for 3-point shooters. It's just our defense is so bad, man. It is so bad. Those are the biggest reasons for this loss. I'm gonna reiterate real quick. Defense, just every aspect of the defense was trash. Again, 21 points off turnovers, 17 fast break points, 17 turnovers, and they scored 78 points in the paint. Those are the big reasons why we lost this game. So looking at the first unit, Monte Morris, 10 points. He did what he could. Bradley Beal, 22 points, but he shot 8 for 18, 1 for 3 from the 3-point line. And again, he wasn't the only one of the solid three. If you look at the solid three, combined 11 turnovers tonight. 11 out of the 17 turnovers were from the solid three. So that tells you right there. I mean, as fun as it can be to watch, when they're at their worst, it shows that this solid three, man, they play like crap tonight. Now, yeah, Kispert, or not Kispert, we're going to get to him in a little bit. But KP, 20 points, 9 rebounds, but he shot 7 for 16. Now, there was a lot of, I'm not going to say this loss is on officiating, but you're in Cleveland, and Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, they got the hometown treatment. They got the star treatment. They got a lot of calls. And it showed. Kristaps Porzingis got a T. There's a lot of frustration tonight for this team. A lot of calls, but you can't stand around and complain. You got to try to fight because the playoff time, man. Every road game is going to the cards are going to be stacked against you. So that's why I was hoping for this team to kind of have go into this playoff matchup because this is a playoff matchup. Look, Cleveland's fourth in the East, so they have aspirations to challenge in the East. This is the type of game where I say it all the time, man. It's a measure stick game. We find out who we are by playing teams like Cleveland, by playing teams like Philly, Boston, Milwaukee, Brooklyn. I mean, the list goes on. New York. The list goes on, and we barely got by the Pistons not too long ago. And yeah, we blew them out the last game, but the Pistons are pretty much the equivalent of a G League team, man, with 8 players out. I mean, Cleveland smoked us. They smoked us. I mean, it's just let's look at the rest of this starting unit. Kyle Kuzma 7 points, very underwhelming. Foul trouble most of the game. Five fouls. So he's barely on the court because there's foul trouble. We talked about Beal KP. Gaff, 6 points, 5 rebounds, kind of an underwhelming game. So this starting unit just didn't show up tonight. Bradley Beal and KP, yeah, they scored 20 plus, but outside of that, Morris did what he could, but the starting unit was very underwhelming. Looking at the second unit, DeLon Wright, 4 points. His defense was there, but again, underwhelming scoring wise. Kendrick Nunn, 5 points. Johnny Davis, 4 points. But let me say this, man. You see the potential with Johnny Davis. He really is. He has a lot of confidence. He's really, really looking good, man. I get it, 4 points, but man, he's really showing a lot of potential and a lot of confidence, man. So now, if you give him playing time, we need to give him playing time. We need to see what we got in Johnny Davis this second half because I'm gonna make a statement. I'm gonna get through this bench real quick. Well, I'm gonna make a statement that I think a lot of us already know about this season, man. But rounding out the bench, Denny, 2 points. Again, 18 minutes. Could he got more minutes? Yeah, but the start unit's back. So he's pretty much going to get anywhere between 15 to 20 minutes a night. But 2 points, you're expecting more. He had some looks, his shot wasn't dropping. But Kispert was the lone bright spot of the second unit. 12 points, 5 for 6, 2 from 3 for 3-point line. So he is proficient. Kispert has been the best bench player in the second half. Denny, defense-wise, yes, he's been on point. But his points have been a little inconsistent. But as far as scoring-wise and being that scoring punch off the bench, Corey Kispert has really stepped up in the second half. And really talking about second half, let's slide back into the second unit. Kyle Kuzma has been struggling since the All-Star break. It's very noticeable. I know a lot of you guys see it. He has struggled a lot. He has struggled since coming back from All-Star break, and it shows. You want to get $20, $25 million, man, you've got to step it up. You've got to step it up. Tonight, very underwhelming. So looking at the starting the second unit, very underwhelming. You had okay performances, 22 from Bill, 20 from KP, and Kispert looked well, but overall, we just got blown out. The Cleveland is just so much better than we are. And it just shows, man. They're ready for the playoffs, and clearly we're ready for the lottery because we're so inconsistent. And like I said before, man, the same issues come to haunt this team. And the lack of adjustments, it comes back on West, man. The lack of adjustments. Defense has been abysmal all year. Like, where's the adjustments, man? Turnovers, an issue all year. Points in the paint, issue. Rebounding. I mean, the same issues. It's like you really got to take a look at this at the head coaching position going into the offseason, man, because the lack of adjustments shows that, look, maybe he's not ready to be a head coach. Maybe it's time to go out there and look. I mean, depending on the direction. I mean, and the reason I say that is because, if we go into a rebuild, because quite frankly, there's a possibility we could. Because if we miss the plan or we go in first round and out, I don't see Kyle Kuzma staying unless the money's really that serious that he wants to stay. KP, I mean, why would they want to stay, man? Why would they want to stay? That's the question. Why would they want to stay? So it's just, again, a very abysmal loss for this team. I felt like this was must win. And it just shows we're not ready for the playoffs. We're not ready for the plan. Even if we make the plan, if we get a gentleman's sweep, that's a victory. But we're just not ready, man. We're not ready. We're not there yet. And it's just, it showed tonight. So we're gonna go ahead and move on. I'm gonna like I said, it's gonna be a short episode tonight. We're gonna go into the ad, and then we're gonna go through some comments, and we're gonna call it a night, man. Because I know a lot of y'all need a beer. Because Lord have mercy, watching that game, man, you're gonna need some brandy. So before we move on to comments, man, and talking about tomorrow night's game against the Kings at home. Tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The tournament is heating up, and now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Because new customers get a no sweat first bet up to $1,000. That's bonus bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Then you can bet on everything from the money line to point scores and threes drain. Plus, FanDuel even lets you combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with same game parlay. I know me and E, we both love same game parlays, man. So, I mean, if you're new to FanDuel, I definitely recommend parlays, man. It's the easiest way for us to kind of get paid. So don't miss the chance to get your no sweat first bet up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you go to fanduel.com/locked on. That's fanduel.com/locked on to learn more. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the National Basketball Association. So before we get into comments, and then we're gonna go ahead and call it a night, man, because man, the beer is talking to me, y'all. Tomorrow night, we try to get back in the win column. Sacramento. We're at home against Sacramento 8 o'clock tomorrow night. So definitely tune in and show your support. I know it's getting hard, but look, we got to support this team, man. We had to try to support this team. So looking at the Kings real quick, I'm not gonna go through a full preview and or keys to victory because like I said, the same issues arise with this team. I think if I say one thing, if we have a chance to beat Sacramento, is consistency. Look at what works and do it. We know what works. Ball movement, selfless basketball. It works. Simple. That's it, man. Leadership has to show. Leadership from Bradley Beal has to show. Kyle Kuzma's got to wake up, because he's not himself since All-Star break, man. So we need leadership and we need consistency if we want a chance. Because Sacramento, they can easily smack us around at home, man. Look, their coach is probably gonna get coach of the year. This team, Sabonis must have been that last piece, man, because they got a nice squad. And like I said, if we play around and we have our heads down, being sad on the court, man, playing around, Sacramento can give us the business tomorrow night, easy. So if anything for a prediction, I'm gonna say we gotta play team basketball if we want a chance to win this game at home. So again, tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, Sacramento's in DC, and we're gonna try to get in the win column, man. But let's get into comments because I see a lot of comments, man. And again, appreciate y'all, man, for showing up Friday night. Everybody's ready to enjoy their Friday night. So try to get some comments and call it a night. So started off, comment numero uno. What's going on, man? Desan, I knew the Detroit game was a fluke. We can never beat good teams. Kuz playing hurt and Bill playing hot potato with the ball is never a good thing. Same issue all year long. Bradley Bill bringing the ball up, dribbling too much, and turning the ball over. From the standpoint of Bradley Bill, you got to work on some more moves, man. To step back every time just ain't working. It's just not working. You're becoming very predictable on the offensive end. You had few moves. You got to widen your repertoire if you want to bring the ball up. Because I don't think he needs to bring the ball up, man. Lord knows we need a point guard in DC. Monte Morris, he's done okay stepping into that role, starting point guard, but we need a point guard. Monte is just not it as a starting point guard. He's best served on second unit. But I agree with you, man. Detroit game was a fluke. We blew out a team that had 8 guys hurt. And then we're pumping our chests out like we about to do something, man. Like, nah. We beat the Pistons. It's like a 40-year-old man going up to a 10-year-old and punching him and talking about, look what I did. Nah, man. You're 40. Nah, man. Nah. It's just if we're serious about contending, we have to be Cleveland. We had to be Boston. It's just it's abysmal to watch, man. The defense is horrible in this team. So I agree with you. Kuz, I do believe he might be playing hurt, but then again, that's on coaching. That's on the organization. What are you playing for? Why play Kuz if he's hurt? If he's indeed is hurt. You're really treating the playing spot like we rushing to make. Come on, man. Stop. If he's hurt, sit him. I don't get what the motivation is for this franchise. Israeli fandom, what's going on with you? Wow, this team is horrible. Yeah. Bad coaching and bad play. Denny should be the number one option as well as primary ball handler, not Brad. Well, I'm going to say this, man. um, Denny has a lot of potential, man. And yes, ball handler in certain situations. Now on the first unit, no. Maybe in certain situations if he starts, but with this lineup the way it is, he's not going to be starting too much unless injury happens. But number one option, nah, man. No. You could argue fourth option on this team, but not number one, man. And he shouldn't be. He's nah. Nah, I definitely appreciate the comment, man, but I just don't believe he should be the number one option. I think that on the second unit, absolutely. Him and Kispert should be battling for that number one scoring option off the bench. But as far as on the team overall, nah, I can't agree with that, man. But thank you for your comment. I definitely agree with bad coaching and bad play. The coaching is abysmal. He's just a non-factor. He just stands there. Yeah, I mean, to his credit, I don't know what's being said in the locker room, but to me, it screams no leadership on this team. No leadership and no care. Maybe he's yelling. I don't know. I don't want to be that guy. But, the fact of the matter is, you're a bad defensive team, and you came over here as a defensive coach. So, that it is what it is. So again, appreciate you, Israeli fandom. Tank for Scoot. Are we certain we want to keep Gaff? I love that he seems to care, but his man is so inconsistent. One game he can have 20 points, 6 blocks. Next game he can have 2. Yeah, I agree. Foul trouble has been an issue, has been his MO, his time in DC. A lot of potential going forward. It's a lot of uncertainty, man. With him going into an extension and with a lot of uncertainty with KP, he might very well be the starter for the next couple of years. And then in the rebuild, why not? But it's just a lot of uncertainty. As far as Gaff, man, he's here. There's really no reason to move him. And really, who's going to take him considering the current mold of a modern day NBA center? He can't shoot from on arc. He can't really create a shot for himself, and it's nothing against Gaff. I mean, he's an old school center, and I like Gaff. I'm a big fan of Gaff, and he is consistent, but now he's here, man. He's not going anywhere. Let's see. Again, appreciate everybody. We're all really saying the same thing. All saying the same thing. Bad coaching. Whether Kuz play, I get it. Evan Dean, what's going on, man? I hate Wes. It's like he doesn't even care. He just stands there and watches, no emotion. No. Yeah, from the outside looking in, it looks like that. No emotion, not digging in. Look. A lot of these iconic coaches would dig into people. They didn't care. Your Pat Rileys, man. Your Phil Jackson. These championship coaches, man. You could say Doc Rivers, man, but I personally think Doc Rivers is overrated. One championship, and he continues to get head coaching gigs, and I don't get it, but he is a coach that has gotten a lot out of his teams, man. The Clippers, Philadelphia, Boston, but these championship coaches, man, dig into players. They require a lot out of players, man. This whole, handing it off to Brad. Look, Brad's a player, not the coach. Be a coach. Be the coach. Just like Tommy Shepard. Don't let Brad be the GM. Be the GM. Do your job. I'm gonna end it with that, man. Sheldon T, as much as we may want to be good, it's clear the talent and coaching of this team isn't on the same level with a legit top team in the East. Thank you. Bill and Cruz silly turnovers are getting old. Your comment is spot on. We this solid 3 tries to advertise themselves as something, as a commodity that's ready to challenge, and they're not. Tonight's show, there's a clear difference between that top 5 and top 6 teams in the East and everybody else, especially the Wizards. We play like a play-in team. We play like a lot of every team. We didn't play like a play-in team. The Cleveland Cavaliers came in here, or didn't come in here at home, did whatever they wanted. They did whatever they wanted. And it just defense is just, his MO is defense, and it's year 2 of being a meh, or mediocre defensive team. And you got to look at that position going forward, man, especially in the offseason. Siva, it seems like every player is getting worse as the season progresses. Maybe except Kispert. Yep. There's no team spirit, no smart moves, except to give the ball to one of the not so solid 3. Shame. Yep. Hit the nail on the head. It's just this second half has been terrible, man. I really felt like we could have made some progression in this second half and really, really challenged for a 6 seed. But you know what? We are who we are. These issues we have, whether it's defense every single game or rebounding or, turnovers or points in paint given, it's the same issues all year round. And it's a lack of adjustments from coaching and the players. It's just a lack of adjustments, and it's just we are where we are, and we're a very mediocre team and very inconsistent. Um, let's see, love in the comments, y'all. Matt said terrible loss. Who this game was the game that makes the team throw. Look, I'm gonna go ahead and say now. I for most of the year, I was a guy who believed that we should rebuild. We need to go ahead and hit the rebuild button. We need to go ahead and and rebuild this organization from GM all the way down. But you know, when they started really making some progression with the solid three, I was saying, all right, because at the end of the day, I'm a Wizards fan, man. I want to see us win. I don't, I just want to see us win. I'm a 202 cat, DC Sports, DC all day. I just want to see us win, man. But you're right. This season's over. I don't, even if we somehow make the plan, we're not going to make the playoffs. And if we do, by some grace of God, we're one and done. I mean, it just the season's over. If you look at the schedule going forward, we may win 3 games. We got Orlando twice. We got the Spurs, and if you look at how inconsistent this team is, that's not even guaranteed. Season's over. Season's over. We don't have to worry about the lottery pick thing, man. Because look, you're ready for the draft because the season's over. I don't see where we go from here. It's too late in the game to be inconsistent, and there's a lack of care. And if you look at that turnover in the fourth quarter with Taj Gibson, they were playing around, ball goes, nobody cares. If you look at Kuz's face, nobody cares. He didn't care. Nobody cares. Everybody's ready for the off season, and it's just this team. They quit. They quit on themselves, man. That's it because they're so inconsistent. And you really got to take a look at this team going forward, man. Because I don't think you're going to see the solid three together next year. In my humble opinion, if I had to put money on it, either Kuz and or KP, they both walk. Easy. Because why would you want to stay? What is keeping KP and Kuz in DC? With the solid three, they're playing together, and we are barely getting past the Pistons, and we're barely getting past the Bulls, and it's just like, what are we doing? Sample size, we're looking at it. We're looking at the solid three, and it ain't happening. This is not the core that's going to challenge them to become a contender. It's just not. So, I think we definitely have to take advantage of this draft because there is buku talent in this draft. I'm trying to tell you. Preach Wizards podcast. What's going on, man? The Wizards have such a tough time scoring consistently. Yep. Basketball is a game of runs, and man, do we have a tough time creating them for us. Excuse me. Yep, absolutely. You are absolutely correct. And your next one is on point too. You work so hard to get stops on defense and just do nothing on offense. Inconsistency on every aspect of the game. We're inconsistent, man. Inconsistent. I'm gonna go back to my man Chimp. What's going on, man? How you doing tonight? Effortless loss. Yep, absolutely. Man, this is a long name. Self-made man in California. What's going on? It's time to move on. Tank. Need multiple top 5 picks. Well, I'm with you. I think we need to go into this draft with 2 picks in the first round. I really do. I think we need to go ahead and try to flip those 2 second rounders. But again, why would Kispert, or I'm not Kispert, but why would Kuzma and KP stay? Why would they stay? What's the incentive? They play together. And clearly this core, the solid three, they're not enough to be the foundation of a contending team, and that's it. We can try to if ands and we can make it run. Let's end it there. Look, we are where we are. We've been who we are all year long, and look, it's too late in the game, man. Our record is 32-38, and if you look at the schedule going forward, it went from one of the most easiest schedules to we may win 3 more games. I mean, because we're crazy inconsistent, and we cannot defend a daggone parked car. Yeah, I'm with you. We're gonna do 2 to 3 more comments, y'all, and then we're gonna go ahead and call it a night. But I love the comments, man. I really do. Paul Robinson, what's going on, man? This team has no urgency to win. So sad. Nope, they don't care. They don't care. It's on everybody's face. Kispert's the one guy. Kispert and Johnny Davis are the 2 guys. Well, really, all 3 of the young guys. I'm not gonna even put Denny out there. Like Denny tries, but I think it was a little too much to ask from him with the Rui trade to step up and be that factor off the bench scoring wise, because he still has things to work on offensively. And Kispert stepping up. Long term, what do I like what I see from Denny and Kispert? Yes, I do. Especially with Johnny Davis coming into his own. I like the progression of these 3 young guys, but that's why a rebuild would help. nurture these guys, help develop these guys, man. Because proper development, I think the three of these guys can be solid players, man, and can really help this franchise going forward. So that is just my see, Matt. What's going on, Matt? When we have to beat a fully healthy contending team this season, this team is given false hope every time. Yep, they do. Because we're not a contender. We're not a playoff team. We are a team that our best case scenario is the plan, and we're a lottery team. And we can continue to play the same tune to try to make a second tier guy an all-star, or not an all-star. Well, I mean, he's made all-star teams, but a superstar when he's not. But we gotta, this franchise from owner down has to look itself in the mirror and really ask themselves, what is the vision here, man? What is the vision here? What are we really trying to do? I'll do a couple more, man. A lot of good comments, man. I appreciate y'all tonight, man. We're gonna do OBJ the Dawn. What's going on, brother? Shut these dudes down and get the highest pick we can, man. Yep, shut them down. There's no reason to play Kuz for a daggone playing spot. Sit them down. Let's see what we got in Kispert. See what we got in Denny. Give Johnny some minutes. Sit him down. And then we try to get a couple. I mean, look, try to get another pick. Try to flip these 2 second rounders or a player. Try to get in the draft. I'm telling you, man, this draft is loaded, bro. I'm trying to tell you, this draft is loaded. You can find 2 difference makers easy in this draft that really expedite a rebuild. But the thing is, this franchise they have to want to rebuild. So that's it. All right. We are going to go ahead. Oh, I got a couple more. See, Rich, what's going on, man? Who would you rather give $250 million to, Donovan Mitchell or Bradley Beal? You already know. I'm not even going to answer that question, man. You already know. Spider all day. Look, and don't get it twisted. I'm not anti Bradley Beal, man. I like Bradley Beal. You know, I'm a lifelong Wizards fan, man. I'm from the Commonwealth, Virginia. Grew up in the DCA, man. You know, I've been fans since we had Chris Webber, and we were the Bullets. But so if my top 3 Wizards all time is Gilbert Arenas, John Wall, and Bradley Beal. But we have tried to build this team around Brad, and it fails. We failed. We can't. How many years are we going to try here, man? How many years are we going to try? Donovan Mitchell is that guy you build around. He is a superstar. That guy makes people around him better. He can put the team on his shoulders and win the game. We cannot put the game on Bradley Beal's shoulders and say, here, win us the game. We can't. But when you pay somebody $250 million, that's the expectation. And that's my problem all year long. I'm not anti-Bradley Beal. It's just when you get paid a certain amount of money, it's like being the president. Yo, you're that dude. You're the figurehead. You know, you get criticized because you're that dude. You know, he's the president of this roster. You know, he's the leader. You know, you get criticized because you got paid to be that guy, and you're just not playing to that level, man. Man, again, a lot of good comments. I'm gonna do one more, but we have a mailbag episode next week, so definitely save these questions, man. And really, we're gonna do a mailbag next week, but I'm gonna do one more. Garo, I don't want to butcher your name. Le Magion. Trade Bill and Kuz and build around KP. That's gonna be hard, man. Who's gonna try to pick up Bradley Beal? Let's be really honest right now. Who Bradley Beal is right now in his career? He's a 2 guard who his 3-point shot is diminishing. He's a mid-range guy. Is he consistent enough to really blow by a lot of these defensive guys in the league? Nah. You know, he's got to expand outside the step back. You know, he's got to add some more moves in his repertoire to really be the offensive weapon. You know, he can drive, but usually his drive is against defensive guys who aren't manning him up. You know, he ain't driving on Patrick Bev, man. I mean, I'm just being real with you. You know, these defensive guys, so you know, Bill's here. You know, with him, with that salary, the no trade clause and the trade kicker, who's going to pick that up? You know, I don't see Kuz coming back, man. I don't see it unless the money is too good to say no to. We try to give him $25 to $30 million a year. But KP, if I'm KP, I'm not coming back because you've shown that A, when you're healthy, you can contribute. And B, you can be that guy who's a solid number 2 option, if not a number 1 option. I mean, KP, when he's healthy, is a good player, man. I mean, he's an all-star level player. So I would like to see that, but I don't see it happening, man. One more. I love talking to y'all, man. So a couple more comments. Chip said trade a big 3. Well, we don't have big 3, brother. We have a solid 3, but I'm with you. Kuz walks, KP walks, and I think Brad, you know, I'm not gonna say untradeable because they said John Wall was untradeable. They said Russ was untradeable, but I definitely think a rebuild is the best course of action for this team. Again, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call it there, man. I appreciate everybody tonight. Appreciate all the love, y'all, man. I definitely appreciate y'all sitting up with me, chopping up basketball, man. So we're gonna go ahead and call it tonight. Again, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock at home against the Sacramento Kings. Definitely watch, show your support. Let's try to get this win. Thank you for making Locked On Wizards your first listen today. Now make your second listen. Game to game, NBA. Every moment, every top performance, every result. Locked On Game to Game covers every game from across the NBA with local analysis that only Locked On can deliver. Follow Game to Game on Locked On NBA. Available on Odyssey app, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcast. YouTube, we are close to 3,000 subscribers. I believe we are 20 away. So if you're not a subscriber, definitely like, subscribe, hit the notification button when dope videos like this one come on, and definitely try to get these 3,000 subscribers. Wherever you get your podcast, 5-star review is much appreciated. If you love our content, me and E, man, we try to keep it real with y'all, man. We try not to, play the company line with y'all. We try to give you real analysis, our true opinions, man. So definitely appreciate you guys, man. And Twitter and Instagram. Check me and my dude, the real Ed Oliver, out on Twitter and Instagram. We chop it on game days and off days alike. So again, I appreciate everybody, man. I hope everybody has a blessed weekend. Have a safe and fun Friday night, and take care and peace.